What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Black Sails, Season 3, Episode 9. We are coming to the end of just an absolutely epic and insane Season 3. But first, gotta show you the other shirt that I received because it's just as dope as the John Silver one. It's a Vane shirt.
Yep.
Join the Charles Vane crew, y'all. This
Captain
dude,
Vane's pirate.
I love this so much. Like, between Silver and Vane, easily two of the just most interesting characters that this show has had. And we could just jump right into Vane because he's in a really interesting situation. That was one of the more like holy shit type of cliffhangers this show has hit us with, I feel like, in a while. And it's just one of those things where Eleanor's walking in, Vane got captured after an absolute epic little horse and carriage chase. Like, that shit was insane. That fight was crazy. I thought Jack was dead. I thought Vane was dead. Like,
both for reals.
Like, total chaos and craziness.
He got fucking shot in the back.
Yeah. Like, he got shot, then got into a fight.
Jack got flipped in a fucking wooden carriage.
That was just so wild. That whole action sequence was so good, though, and just so interesting, and just, I don't know how they got out of there alive. But Vane basically told, like, Jack and the gold, the cash, get out of here, go. And they took off, and he stayed behind. He got captured, got beat up a little bit. And now he's in a cell with Eleanor. And it's one of those things where it's such a big cliffhanger in my mind because I literally have no clue what could possibly happen. To use a fantasy football term here, it's got such a wide range of outcomes. She could go in there and screw him. She could go in there and kill him. They could talk. She could rescue him. There's just so many things that... Because Eleanor is so unpredictable, I feel like.
Word. And
it's impossible to know what's really going on in her brain. Yeah. Because moments before that, she's telling Woodes Rogers, I love you. And it's like...
Well, I love you now.
Still. Like...
But did she love Vane then?
I don't know. Like, that's what's so interesting is we don't really know. Like, she's talking about getting revenge for the murderer of her father.
Right.
And it's like,
how loyal is she? I don't know.
Yeah. It's literally one of those things where she has been such an unpredictable character from the beginning that none of her actions are, like, you can't expect anything from her because I don't know if what she told Rogers was accurate. I don't know if any of this plan that she is, like, if she's got something else going on or if she's, like, legitimately like, yeah, I'm with you. Screw the pirates. Screw the dude that killed my father.
She cares about Nassau.
And she cares about living.
Word.
She cares about herself very, very much.
Also true.
So I feel like whatever she feels, and I kind of talked about this in the last video, I feel like whatever puts her in the best position to either have some control, have some power, have a life, I feel like she's just going to keep flip-flopping to the best opportunities that she sees.
Well, as long as she can stay on Nassau.
Right.
And it can go the way she wants it to.
Yeah, and it's just such a wild situation because they want Jack. Jack got away. They want the cash. Spain wants both of them delivered together. But now they've got Vane. And Spain doesn't want Vane. But...
Well, how do you know? What if they just say, this is Jack?
I think they would know better. And I think Vane would speak up, I think. But, like, maybe. Who knows? But...
It's just a thought.
The thing that Flint was worried about is the fact that he believes, which I agree, I totally agree with Flint, that Woodes Rogers would view Vane as a prize to hang.
Yes.
Like, he would be like this marquee, giant capture and kill that he would just dangle above Nassau as like, hey, by the way, this badass dude, and Vane is an absolute badass, oh, by the way, this dude, yeah, he crossed me. No one else is going to cross me. Like, I could see him wanting to use Vane as a very, very powerful message. And I get it. It makes sense. Like, Flint is right on that. And he wanted to go rushing back in. But then Billy, big step up. Billy. Huge. He's going to take a couple folks into Nassau and try to rally some support. And man, there was something about hearing Billy say that he's going to deliver a message that Vane's the best of all of us. It was just one of those things where you said it right before we started recording about how you didn't like him at first and now you really like him.
Well, in terms of Vane, like I didn't see the appeal at first, but now I get it. Like,
he's been a fascinating character.
He's one of my, I mean, it's, you know, it's Flint, it's Vane, it's Silver, it's
they all have
Jack.
such unique character traits.
It's Anne.
And the thing about Vane that I feel like separates him is he is the most loyal, I feel like, of all the pirates that we've dealt with. He says something and he sticks to it. Obviously, the whole situation with Teach was unfortunate, but he made a vow to Flint before that. So it's just like a very difficult
Teach
thing.
was before that, though.
Right, but it was kind of like the most... Yeah, it's difficult. But it's like when Vane says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. Like, there's no bullshit. There's no, like, deception.
So, with
he's
Eleanor,
just like, boom.
You're going to see me again, biatch.
He's just very much by his word, and that's a really, really good character trait. Despite all the horrible shit that he's done, all these folks have done really bad things. I don't think anyone's really good or bad. I think they're all just very gray characters just in the middle doing their thing to survive and live. But like, the moment we met him, we're like, oh, this dude's a fucking asshole.
Right.
And then, like,
Eleanor smacked the shit out across his face.
Yeah.
Just...
The journey that this dude's been on has been awesome, and some of his one-liners are just absolutely epic. Like, fuck you, Jack is probably one of the greatest things that this show has, because there is no better way I would ever expect Vane to say farewell to Jack than with something like that.
I'm going to stop saying I love you to people, and I'm just going to be like,
fuck you.
Fuck you, Leah! Fuck you, Leah! Eliza!
Yeah. Nikki's going to lose a lot of friends.
Leah
She's
would
like,
never.
what?
Eliza would never.
Like, what? Why are you talking so bad to me? But, like, that
if
whole...
I were to say that to my friends, they'd be like, I love you too, bitch.
That whole situation is just wild with Eleanor and Vane. We've got Billy coming up. Flint's got the cash, Jack, and they got stuff going on. But also we've got Hornigold coming in with the ship, ready to fight, and just, it's all just absolutely madness. And one of the most G moments in the last episode was Maddie. Yeah. Like, the situation that they're dealing with one of Flint's crew members.
So much.
It's so heavy and such a hard thing to, like, watch and deal with because of the way they handled it. But Maddie laid it down. Like, when I speak, my men listen. And I feel like that was some major shade thrown not only just at Flint, but Flint wasn't there, but like as John Silver, where it's like, yeah, he's not going to say anything because I told him not to.
She didn't even have to say it.
No.
She didn't have to say it. She just, like, touched his face, undid his
Unbelievable.
Rope, and then we're good.
Yeah, and just like that line felt so powerful in that moment.
Right.
Where it's like, my men listen when I speak. They do what I say.
That's
and
a good
it's just
captain
like,
right
whew.
there. There's a good captain.
And it's really not a good look that this dude, after that little like situation with the thing breaking on the ship, the fact that you could see it immediately that there was going to be a problem, and that the fact that they didn't dismiss him or get rid of him or do something with him besides leaving him on that ship, you knew something else was going to happen. And after this moment, the crew, they kind of handled it themselves, and we'll see where that goes, because I'm concerned that this might not be over, that this dude's going to hold even more resentment now because his own crewmen just beat the shit out of him. I just feel like it's going to be a real big problem. But Maddie, she's an absolute boss. Her mama, Mr. Scott, just everyone in that whole situation, just awesome. I just love everything about it, and you really feel for their situation, because it's tough. It is such a tough thing to do what they're doing, and the sacrifices that they've made.
The trust they have to give.
Yeah, it's just wild. But here we go. We've got 2 episodes left. Anything else?
Just thank you to BP, Big Papa, for Steven's shirts, the white one and this one.
Love them.
Lovely choice. You have some amazing taste. Thank you so much.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Anything else?
No.
All right, let's go.
I noticed that you've locked it. Do you mind me asking who has the key?
Neptune threw it over the side a few hours ago.
Okay.
If you're concerned about the men stealing from it...
I am concerned about the men stealing from it. There's a treasure inside that box, a handful of which could provide a lifetime of prosperity. Facing that kind of temptation, there are few men I would trust to self-deny. But it is not the treasure that concerns me most. Charles Vane's sacrifice is in that box. If your man is unsuccessful in seeing to his rescue, Charles Vane's death is inside that box, along with my good name, along with her lost love, along with your late quartermaster's life. All the awful sacrifices made to assemble that box are now part of its contents, and those things
He's getting really deep about this.
are sacred things that I trust in no man's hands. The next time that chest is opened will be after Anne and I walk away with it, once the smoke is cleared and all is done.
Wow. It's just very interesting hearing Jack speak in these last couple episodes, because it kind of feels like he feels like his time is coming to an end. So he's making sure to, like, I don't know, like you said, he's getting real deep.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
I, Charles Vane, do hereby plead guilty to the charges of treason and high seas piracy. I understand that the sentence for my crimes is to be hanged by the neck until dead. What? It is my hope that in exchange for this plea, I might be spared the humiliation of a public trial, but that my execution be carried out privately and mercifully.
Fuck you.
Fuck you in a different way.
Even if I did sign that, we both know how empty the victory would be. Seeing as you don't give a shit about my piracy or my treason. The only crime of mine that angers you is the one that no one else cared enough about to even call a crime.
Ouch.
Damn the shade.
Is the murder of Richard Guthrie mentioned anywhere on that page?
You fucking coward.
Okay, remember how I said I think there might be still something? Maybe not.
When Charles Vane takes something from a man, he looks him in the eye and gives him a chance to deny him. It's all bullshit. It was always bullshit. You stole my father from me in the dead of night like a rank fucking cutpurse, and you did it because you weren't man enough to face me, to show yourself. So you found the lowest, cruelest, weakest deed imaginable and acted it out upon an innocent man with whom you had no quarrel, knowing that I had finally begun to build something with him, that I was finally able to see the good in him.
He was a shit.
Oh, man.
He was a cowardly, selfish, treacherous shit who cared only for himself and for you not at all. And suddenly he walks back through your door, tells you he can give you all of the things you want, tells you I'm your enemy, and just like that, his love is sacred and mine is a inconvenient obstacle to your ambition. Damn. The life cycle of your affections. A man you love, who speaks the truth, shunted aside in favor of the next, who will tell you whatever you want to hear.
Yeah. Holy shit, dude.
Get her!
Goodbye, Charles.
Fuck you, Eleanor.
He betrayed you, Eleanor. When my men brought him to me, first he begged for mercy. Then he promised to make me rich.
Oh, shit.
But when he realized neither had any effect, he promised to deliver you to me.
Oh,
What?
shit!
Promised to exchange your life for his.
What the fuck? Thanks, Dad.
That is who your father was, Eleanor, and you know it's true.
Don't touch him. Oh, okay. I don't like this at all. He doesn't fight back against her. That says a lot.
I feel like she just broke both of her hands punching him like that. That scream was something else.
There is no goodness in you. There is no humanity in you. No capacity for compromise. Nor instinct toward repair. Nor progress. Nor forgiveness.
Dude, this is insane.
You are an animal.
I really don't. She has it wrong with him. We've seen so much more from him. How are you blind to this?
Nassau is moving on from you, and so am I.
Damn, dude, that was...
Heart-wrenching.
That was some intense ass shit right there.
He didn't hit her. He didn't touch her.
He didn't react at all to that.
No, because I think he gets it. But also, bitch, your dad turned on you, man. He was willing to push you down so that he could live. Like, I want her to want Vane, I guess. wanting the impossible.
You saw him. I know what you took with you into that cell. I don't care what happened. Just tell me whether you were able to leave it behind in that cell.
There is no leaving it behind, but I'm ready to move forward.
Damn it.
You fucking kidding me? When I offered this suggestion, I told you it was just a suggestion. You said it would work. It's a certainty if we anchor and try and ferry ourselves and all our cargo ashore, our longboats will be easy targets for Hornigold's guns. In the absence of any better suggestions, yours was worth a try.
Bitch. Bitch.
Why isn't he reducing sail?
Depth at 8 fathom! We miss our mark by as little as a boat's length, it could be catastrophic. He knows.
He's like, motherfucker, we're gonna hit sand soon.
Silver's so nervous.
Hard to port, Mr. Williamson.
Aye, sir.
Let fall the starboard anchor!
We're pulling an e-brake on this. E-brake and slide.
That's a dope shot right there.
I love it so much.
I wonder if Flint's calmness in this moment is just giving Silver even more anxiety about the plan.
Right?
That's the bow! Ready for impact!
What are we doing though? No, this is not what I thought was gonna happen. Oh, shit. Oh, fucker.
Open the gun ports!
Oh, shit.
Take the courses and come about on the starboard tack. Bring us up the coast, we'll deploy our men onto the sand, free of his great guns, and then march them into... engage.
Oh my god! Ah, fucker! Ah, you can't do shit now! Ha, bitch! Come on, Hornigold. That's right, bitch. You want to come onto this island? You want to come onto this one? Nah.
Wow.
Circumstances have changed in town dramatically since Jack's escape and Captain Vane's capture. The governor knows there was a spy that made the escape possible. His people are on high alert. There are 100 redcoats between him and the front door of the fort. Even if there was a way to get to him, he's set to be shipped out tomorrow. There isn't nearly time to find it.
Of course there isn't. So we need to make sure they don't ship him out. Not tomorrow, not ever. We force them to try him here. Well, they figure out a process and we find a plan to set him free.
How do we keep him off the ship?
By making sure people give a shit about it.
Come on, Billy. I love this episode. I mean, I love all the episodes, but I love it when it's like, you're nervous.
There's so much at stake.
We were successful. The war we sought will soon be underway, on our terms.
Mr. Scott.
I know, I really like Mr. Scott.
I was there in Nassau. Eleanor is there, in a position of great influence, they say, at the right hand of the governor. She is one of them now. I stood in Nassau and I realized when this war begins, it will have many different meanings. But to you, this war is a civil war. Between two cities you held together for so long with unseen bonds. You will have people on both sides of it. You will have daughters on both sides of it. And I want you to know.
Only you.
I warned you. The closer you let me get to you, the more dangerous I would be. I've never given a damn what people think of me, but I give a damn what you think. I hope that when you wake, you will understand why I did what I did. You will see that it was all I could think to do to protect you, the only way I know how.
How's this dude gonna survive and get better from this?
I don't know. Have any of them survived
I don't think
this illness?
They just kept saying how many of them kept dying.
Or falling ill?
We need to talk about that. What about it? We're about to enter into a battle where every man must be behind us, as any man with motive not to be so could sink us. It would seem that you have made sure that he has one. You learned of what had happened, told him how fucking stupid he was, and in that moment, he gave you a look that amounted to something less than contrite. And in that moment, you felt it. Felt what? Darkness.
Don't we just talk about that? Hate.
Showing indifference to the authority that you sacrificed so much to acquire.
Hate leads to the dark side. Just saying.
Refusing to acknowledge.
You're saying I went too far with him?
Maybe you went too far. Maybe you didn't go far enough. Maybe you did it just right. The point is that while you were doing it, you heard a voice telling you that disciplining him would prevent him from repeating the offense. A voice that sounded like reason, and there was reason to it.
I love these conversations so much.
That's what it does. Cloaks itself in whatever it must to move you to action. And the more you deny its presence, the more powerful it gets. And the more likely it is to consume you entirely without you ever even knowing it was there.
Damn.
If you and I are to lead this man together, you must learn to know its presence well, so that you may use it, rather than it use you.
Oh my god, dude.
Wow.
I can't tell if this was a warning. Or a welcome.
Aww. Does that mean that he passed away?
I'll need to make an offering at his burial. Something of mine that he can take with him.
I'm sorry. I don't know what to say.
Mr. Scott was such a great character.
I agree.
I'm sorry, I didn't get word until it was done. I came immediately.
What happened?
The crew of the Shark is standing down. The governor has scrapped his plans to move Captain Vane off the island, and then scheduled an accelerated trial for the captain here in Nassau.
When have they scheduled it to begin?
In the middle of the night. Last night. It's already happened.
Whoa, what?
What?
There was no judge appointed here.
They appointed a judge, they impaneled a jury. It was over before anyone knew it began.
What the hell?
They mean to hang him today.
Bitch,
Whoa.
this is what Eleanor did? You want a process? We'll give you a fucking process?
When the governor arrived and the island embraced him, a bargain was struck. Authority was ceded in exchange for which the law returned. Law, which constrained that authority, made outcomes more predictable, but this outcome would seem most unpredictable.
The law was adhered to.
If the bargain changes, there is no telling what else would change as a result. What trust may be lost, and what chaos may abound.
This is no attempt to circumvent the law. Indeed, the governor felt that it was necessary in order to protect it.
Liar. That dude made no decisions. He is probably still not even awake.
This some bullshit. This some bullshit. I'm real upset.
I assume you understand what is to happen as soon as everything begins. It'll be loud, confusing. Men who have never experienced fear are said to know it for the first time. In this moment, there is quiet, an opportunity to find some measure of peace. In this moment, you have the opportunity to enter into that moment with a clear conscience.
Is this really happening?
I have nothing to repent for with you.
I understand you believe your violence is justified in the name of a defiance of tyranny. But there are mothers who buried their sons because of you. Wives widowed because of you.
Like this.
Children awoken in their sleep to be told their father was never coming home because of you.
What kind of a man can experience no remorse from this?
Whatever remorse I have or do not have is my own. That I choose not to share it with you says more about you than it does about me. Whatever I have to say to God, I'll tell him myself, but not at all.
I don't know if I could sit here. I don't.
Oh my god. This is...
I don't like this. I don't like any of this.
Decent, God-fearing citizen among us, and a step towards the return of civilization in Nassau. These relics of a more savage age, there is no relish in this moment.
What is happening?
I don't know.
But yeah, that's not the news. I know, just wait.
Will be done again.
What? I can't. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. What?
My heart is racing.
These men who brought me here today do not fear me. They brought me here today because they fear you.
Because they know that my voice, the voice that refuses to be enslaved, once lived in you, and may yet still. They brought me here today to show you death, and use it to frighten you into ignoring that voice. But know this. We are many, they are few. To fear death is a choice, and they can't hang us all. Get on with it, motherfucker.
Oh, what?
No. 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 No.
Billy. It's all right.
No, it's not. 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 I didn't fucking just die right now.
Oh my god.
This is not happening. This is not happening.
No.
What? No. No.
Why? It was the only way to start it. You knew it was the only way.
Start what?
Look at them. The resistance in Nassau is now underway.
Another sacrifice for the cause, and that chest of ours only gets heavier. I understand your tactical deployment of the Walrus. She'll be massively outnumbered, but still a critical asset. I also understand you intend to place your Mr. de Groot in command of her.
He'll manage.
But he wasn't your first choice. It was supposed to be Charles.
Are you suggesting a better replacement?
Me. England may have removed Charles Vane from our number. There is too much of him in me for England to fully will him away. In his absence, with everything that is at stake, I will be our Charles Vane.
Get it, Jack.
Come back from the beach and couldn't help but notice the 3 additional ships anchored in the bay.
Captain Hornigold will be sailing in consort with you, accompanied by his private militia.
The force I bring to bear is sufficient to combat whatever awaits us.
Jesus, he wants the force you bring to bear. I know this enemy, Commodore.
Eleanor sucks.
With the express purpose of compelling us to commit your force to a battlefield of his choosing.
I had little hope that she would change her mind.
If you allow him to dictate the terms of battle, you court a disastrous outcome. If he expects your force, then we must send that which he does not expect. For we will have victory against this enemy. There simply is no alternative.
This sucks.
The word is spreading throughout the Bahamas that the governor of Nassau hanged a pirate in the square. Made an example of him, they say, to show that he is the steward of law and order in the West Indies.
Does that teach?
He is resolved to be the Englishman who ends piracy in the New World. The pirate he hanged in the square, to underscore his point, was Charles Vane. So I wanted to ask you first, what do you want to do about it?
Oh, shit.
He's real mad. I'm so upset. I'm so upset. Like... I really didn't think this was gonna happen. I held on to a little bit of hope that maybe Eleanor would actually be a good person.
She's gone. She's all in on this English plan. That was...
Eleanor sucks.
Losing Vane... That's so brutal. It's just one of those things where, like we were talking about at the beginning of the episode, he's, despite what we felt about him when we first met him, you could almost argue that what Billy said last episode was true, that he's the best of them because of how true to his word he always stayed. And his loyalties and the word that he lived by, and like, dude's a fucking pirate. And in the words of Charles Vane, he was a proper pirate. Like, that dude, the timing of like the arrival of this shirt is absolutely insane. And the fact that like Jack said what he said was like one of those really emotional moments, like, I'll be your Charles Vane. It's like, this is going to bite Eleanor in the ass.
I hope it bites real hard. Because fuck you, Eleanor, in a different way.
And that's why Billy stopped the saving him. Like, the rescue was ended. Because, like, this is interesting, because Rogers probably viewed, well, they weren't going to do it there. They were going to take him to England.
Right.
Flint was like, we can't have that. It's going to be basically a huge victory for him if he's hanging over Nassau. But that wasn't Roger's plan. That ended up becoming Eleanor's plan. And instead of the rescue becoming the resistance, the hanging of one of the most just top dog pirates is going to lead to this resistance. And it's like Billy said, like, it started. They needed to have Vane killed to get the message across that, like, it's like, yeah, maybe Rogers, obviously this isn't coming from him, it's coming from Eleanor, but the message from the governor is that we're changing the rules.
Yeah,
Pirates are...
We'll
like,
do this wherever we want, whenever we want.
Whenever we need to. And I feel like the pirates who have signed the pardons, even Hornigold had a look in his eye to where it was like, wait, what the fuck are we doing? Kind of thing. Like, are we really... Like, do these pardons really even mean anything if something goes wrong? Because they have all the names. They know who's who. But, like, are they going to start turning on them? Even though they supposed to have, like, that's where I feel like that's where the resistance is coming from, to where now the fact that they did something that Rogers was he said that they weren't going to be doing that. That wasn't the plan. That wasn't what's going to happen here. And now that they have one of their own, a captain, one of the best of them now hung at Nassau, I feel like that's going to flip a lot of feelings and is going to ultimately just, I don't know. It's going to, if Rogers wakes up, there's no way he's going to be happy about this. Because I think it 100% is going to backfire.
Well, I mean, who knows when he's going to, or if he's going to.
And sending Hornigold's fleet to fight alongside that other dude, I think that's going to bite them in the ass too. I think the pirates are going to come together.
I hope so. I hate it.
Eleanor has
I really liked that episode. Now I don't like it.
I mean,
I get it. I get the whole reason, but I don't like it.
I talk about it all the time. The impact of major characters' deaths. I feel like Charles Vane's death is just such a massive impact on this story. It's like, I'm sweating. Like, I am under here sweating. That was hard and emotional, and it felt very much like another one of my favorite characters' deaths, whose name I'm not going to mention just for spoiler purposes. but it felt like
I will not be flipping any notebooks and walking
well,
away.
I'm not talking about that one.
Oh, I am.
This felt like it was coming, and Vane was able to get his message out. And drinking horns, I'll say that. But it felt like Vane's words before he got hung were delivered, and they landed amongst the pirates that were there and that signed the pardons. And I think that's why it is going to end up being so impactful. The fact that Vane had a very powerful message to deliver before it happened, and I think it landed. And I think that's why Billy was like, okay, like Vane gave him the head nod, like, no. And yeah, that was a powerful, emotional, I think it's just going to take this show and skyrocket the story even farther forward. Because now not only do they have their lives and their futures to be worried about, they now have a motivation that they need to go avenge one of their brothers. Sucks. Like, one of the top dog pirates in this world was put on display. And when Teach walked off, we talked about if we would see him again. I was like, we're not going to see him again. Unless, and again, just like last episode, I'm sorry, it comes back to Star Wars. But in A New Hope, when Han Solo disappears, and then they get into their fight, and he shows up to save the day, I feel, especially now that we saw him and that he had that look in his eye, I don't care what went down, I don't care how that little situation ended, Teach still very much cares about Charles Vane, and that's
still his son.
There is a 0% chance he is not getting involved in this, and there is a 0% chance that he is not going to make an impact. He's going to make an impact, and I wonder if it's one of those things where, because, again, the writing in this show is so interesting and sneaky, the fact that Eleanor's delivering a message saying, you can't give him what he's preparing, you got to give him more than what he's prepared for, I almost feel like that's a flip. Because the English ships are going to show up and fight, Flint's going to have his crew and everything set up there, but then the unexpected's going to arrive, and I think it's going to be Teach. With his fleet of folks that got left behind. That, and again, this show does such a friggin' masterful job with its storytelling to where whatever feels obvious is never obvious. That feels too obvious. That feels like where my brain's going with this story. We'll see. We've got one episode in this season, which has been absolutely insane. One of the best seasons of TV I honestly could say I've ever seen. The writing, the storytelling, the action, the visuals, everything about this season has been absolutely amazing. And we've got a finale still. I have no idea what we're even going to get in this. I still feel like there's so much just conflict in a lot of these men's minds. And the death of Charles Vane, I feel like, is going to even lead to more of that. He was an amazing character.
So good.
One of my favorites. Just because of the journey that like, the moment we learned about his backstory, I feel like everything changed with him. The way you viewed him, the way you, like, saw and understood why he did what he did, all of his actions made a lot more sense. And just, the dude became a super valuable and deep character in this show.
Well, yeah, I didn't like him at first. I thought he was, like, gross and disgusting. I didn't understand why, Charles Vane, he's so awesome. I'm like, I get it. And then I got it, and now he's gone, and it sucks.
It's gonna be a huge loss. Having that voice, like, just the voice alone, so special. Like, he's got such a unique voice. But, like, his voice and his strategy and his reasoning and his dedication and his loyalty to everything about this pirate life and what they're fighting for is going to be greatly missed. And Jack wants to take that mantle. You can't fight like him, but you sure as hell can talk like him. I mean, maybe not like him, but Jack's got his traits that are amazing, and that's going to be a very emotional thing, where it almost feels like the end of Braveheart, where it's like, for William Wallace, it's like, well, this is going to be for fucking Charles Vane, and I wouldn't want to get in their way. I would not want to be in any of their way fighting for Charles Vane, and especially Teach. Don't fuck with Blackbeard. You took his son. I don't even want to know what this dude's capable of when he's angry like this. Angry, heartbroken, all the emotions. But I really do greatly appreciate the risk it takes to kill a major character. It just empowers the story so much more, and it makes it so much more unpredictable. True. It felt like Vane was one of the untouchables on this show. The stuff that he had survived and the stuff that he had gone through, and just his story and his ups and downs and everything. But at the same time, I think his death is going to have a massive, massive impact on this story. It's not going to be one of those, oh, Charles is dead, cool, we're going to keep going. They're going to do things in support and motivated by him. So, you all right?
Yeah, that sucked, though.
It's never easy. And as if losing Vane wasn't enough for this episode, Mr. Scott also passed away. And
R.I.P.
Just he's another absolutely amazing character, and I was blown away by the way this season elevated him from just Mr. Scott, a guy who's kind of helping support everyone and just trying to like survive and live and get stuff done for himself.
And
the moment
for the entire community of people.
But he ended up getting elevated to this guy, this king of this land, where he was saving these marooned slaves, where, I mean, it was incredible the way he was able to just juggle that life. Like, stay as one person here while he's literally an entirely another person trying to save his people over here. That moment was just so big, so powerful, and he's another one of those characters that we're gonna miss him a lot. And
the way Maddie cried on John Silver's shoulder, like,
that was one of those just moments where, and then even before that, where she was like, "You 2 daughters," and he's like, "Just you." Like, unbelievable just moment, unbelievable character, and just the parallels between him and Flint, and just the idea that they're living separate, like 2 different lives, and they can't maintain it, and like things ended, and it's just the parallels there between the 2 of them, and the way that they were living their lives was just insane. And it's one of the biggest reveals that this show gave us, and it was one of the biggest, shocking, just most surprising things. When we realized that this island was relying on him and him sending stuff back, and just that him and his wife and Maddie and all of them built this world where they were safe, they were free, they were living. I mean, that just, it took him from just one of the regular awesome characters on this show to just one of these really epic, huge characters that has this massive story with so many people relying on him. And it's one of those things, I keep talking about it, just the idea that there's so much at stake. What he was doing was so important, and there was so much at stake for everything that he did to keep it quiet, to keep it private, to not let anyone know that this place existed, for the safety of his people. It was just unbelievable. And he's definitely going to be one of those characters that, like, obviously we hate Eleanor right now, and I hope she gets what she deserves. But like the whole time that he was with her, he was like that voice of reason at all times.
Yes.
He was always just there doing what he felt was right, the best, his voice. Talk about, like, the people in this show have amazing voices. I loved hearing Mr. Scott talk. His voice was just everything. And you knew when he was talking, something really important was coming out. And that he had a really important, deliberate message. And just his journey on this show was spectacular, along with a lot of other characters on this show. The journeys are just so impactful, and they write these characters so well, and the dialogue that they get is so important. And yeah, him, Vane, I mean, that's 2 massive losses for this show in 1 episode. That is so much. Yeah. But yeah, do you have any other thoughts?
No.
All right, y'all. Leave your comments down below. We will catch you guys later for the next one. Have a good one. Bye.